Hi, we're Weekend Football. I'm Michael.
And I'm Laith, and I've got my voice back this week.
No Ross today. He's on holiday in Bristol. Exotic. To the scoring. Before we had Ross with 15, I was on 14 and Laith, you were on 15.
Mm-hmm.
So last week's games, Newcastle versus Liverpool. Surprise result.
Yeah, we'd forecast the draw, hadn't we?
We had, yeah. Ross went for 1-1. You went for 1-1 as well, and I went 2-1 Liverpool. Should have gone the other way. But so we had City United, Manchester Derby.
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell us about that?
I watched it on TV. We forecast a draw 1-1, or I did. What did you forecast?
City win.
Did they win, did they?
They did.
I think it could have been a draw very, very easily, couldn't it? Oh, frustrating game. I think it was nervy on both sides.
Ross also went 1-1, so I get the points.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Villa Spurs, a last-minute Harry Kane free kick.
We all went for the away win.
Yeah, but we didn't think Villa would score.
No,
they
didn't.
did.
Well, they hadn't scored for 4 matches.
No, they hadn't. But yeah, we all went 0-1 apart from me. I went 0-2, so I got the 2 goals. Didn't quite get there.
No,
Villa
you
goal.
can't get any points for that. Sorry, you got to get the score right.
And finally, Palace versus Sunderland, which was a complete
we're
opposite.
All going, I think everyone was going for the home win, but so Sunderland surprised last night.
I went for 0-0. I went differently.
Okay.
3 goals out. But at the end of that round, we're all on 16.
Couldn't get closer than that. Still, there's a long way to go.
Yep. Exactly. Well, we got a competition on the go. We've teamed up with Red Rants to give you a chance to win VIP tickets to Manchester United versus Crystal Palace at Old Trafford on Saturday. All you have to do is download the Football Coupon app on iOS or Android. Place a bet on any fixtures for tonight or tomorrow. And post your bet to us at Weekend Football or /Weekend Football Facebook or at red_rants or their Facebook page. And you could be in with a chance to win VIP tickets. First up, we got Liverpool versus Chelsea, which is a Saturday, 12:45 kickoff on BT Sport. So Liverpool have only won 3 in their last 9, whereas Chelsea remain unbeaten. Laith, where do you think that will end up?
It's a game I'm looking forward to. I think given Liverpool's recent results, they haven't scored in the last 2. We thought they might draw against Newcastle. They didn't even manage to
score a goal.
We predicted they would draw against Hull, but I thought they'd get a goal and it'd be 1-1, but it was 0-0. Sturridge still injured, travelling tonight to Madrid, is he? I'm not sure he'll be on the pitch.
I think it might be a bit of a wasted trip.
Probably going for moral support. Balotelli, 8 Premier League appearances now.
Yeah, without a goal.
No Premier League goals, couple of cup goals.
Yeah. They've also only won 1 in the last 4 at Anfield as well, so that doesn't bode well for them.
They're not doing too well. Last season they were second highest goal scorers behind City. This season, who knows what's going to happen, but I'm not sure where the goals are going to come from. Maybe Raheem Sterling? Maybe Sturridge possibly. When he's fit. I think Chelsea are so strong at the moment. I can't really see who's going to beat them. The only points they've dropped this season are to the 2 Manchester clubs.
Yeah, they've been quite impressive with the last 2 seasons, I think. They've only lost 6 in their last 56 Premier League games.
It's not a bad record, is it?
No.
I think away from home as well, they're currently 13 games unbeaten in total, but away from home they've gone 8 Premier League games since an away defeat. Last away defeat was to Palace in March, who lost last night at home to Sunderland. Yeah. But they also lost away in March this year, and obviously last season, to Villa. And those 2 clubs sit just on top of the relegation zone. So, since that period back in March, they haven't done too badly, have they?
No, exactly. And I think Chelsea have the far stronger squad. They have the far stronger starting 11. When you take Daniel Sturridge out of that Liverpool team, and you haven't got any goals, which is clear.
Yeah, I'm I'm thinking that it is quite feasible that Liverpool won't actually score at home in this match. They didn't score against Hull. Chelsea are a completely, different kettle of fish. Very, very strong all over. And I think that Chelsea will win that perhaps by a couple of goals. I'm not sure Liverpool will score.
Well, I think that Liverpool will raise their game. When you play big clubs, you tend to raise your game a bit. And I think when you play Hull and Newcastle, you're kind of expecting to win as a Liverpool side. But then
Easy points, though. You should be nailing those games.
Exactly, but a bit complacency. But when you're playing Chelsea, you kind of up your game, and I still think they might get a goal. So for my score prediction, I'm going to go 1-3.
Okay, on my score prediction, Liverpool-Chelsea, I'm going to go 0-2.
And your recommended bet?
My recommended bet, certainly the away win on its own for a lower risk bet. I'll be tempted to go to a win to 0, which you might get around sort of approaching 3-1, something like that.
Well, the BTTS plus result for Chelsea, you get best price at Coral, which is 3-1. So it might even be worth a higher risk going for the 3-1.
Would sit with you, but I can't see where the goals are coming from. So I'm sticking with my win to 0.
Next, we got QPR versus Manchester City, which is the Saturday game again, 5:30 kickoff on Sky Sports 1. So QPR have only won 2 games all season. Whereas Man City have won 4 of the last 5 Premier League. So they're doing great form in the Premier League. Not so much in the other competitions, but maybe a Man City win, Laith.
I would have thought so, yeah. They did look very nervous against United, but then, they have had not great form. First win in 4 games across all competitions. But QPR losing at home to Sunderland was a surprise. When they went to Old Trafford, United beat them comfortably 4-0. I do think QPR will score, though. And City have conceded 2 goals in 3 of their last 4 aways against West Ham, Hull, and of course against Arsenal they would. But I was surprised that they conceded 2 against Hull. I think QPR will get a goal, but I can't see City not winning that game, especially with the likes of Aguero. Yeah,
Charlie Austin's in form for QPR at the moment. Scored 5 this season, which isn't too bad.
He did.
Bearing on their league position, which you wouldn't really expect a goal scorer
and against Chelsea, I think we originally predicted 2-1 and I changed it to 3-0. I'm sorry about that. But it was QPR against Chelsea had 1 of their 7 shots on target, and it was the back heel where Charlie Austin wasn't even looking at the goal that was actually on target. So it doesn't say a lot really for QPR's strike force. But I think they'll score, but I think it'll be something like 1-3.
I think they've improved of late. They beat Villa at home, which I thought was actually quite surprising based on you would have thought Villa playing those Chelseas. They play Arsenal as well, you would expect them to lose again. Mm-hmm. But for Villa to lose away at QPR.
No, it was a surprise. But City will win that game, I'm quite sure of it.
Yeah, quite an air of arrogance in City's play at the moment, though. I think they're going to win games before they've even played them. For example, they lost at home to Stoke.
That was a surprise, but I wouldn't say they were arrogant at the weekend.
No, they weren't arrogant the weekend, but they've been arrogant
against lower opposition.
Yeah, for example, Newcastle in the Cup. It took Pellegrini till the 75th minute, I think, to put Aguero on.
Yeah.
When they were 1-0 down.
Oh, he'll be there from the start for sure against QPR.
Yeah, I think it's another loss for QPR. It's inevitable. City will dominate the game.
Do you think both teams will score?
Yeah, I do think both teams will score. Based on Charlie Austin's form and Man City's fragile defence of late. But it does actually depend, I think, whether they perform in the Champions League. If they can get a good result against CSK Moscow, Man City.
I think they will. Just recently, QPR's last 12 games away at Chelsea scoring, not easy to score at Stamford Bridge. The 2 against Aston Villa with a win, and then yes, they lost at home to Liverpool, but they did put 2 goals past them. Yeah. So I can see them scoring, but I would go for something like 3-1, and certainly over 2.5 goals with City with a strike force that they have, possibly both teams to score and result.
Yep, I've gone very similar. I've gone to 3-1 for City, and I've gone over 2.5 goals. Best price of that at Bet Victor.
Let's put our money there then.
Sunday's 1:30 p.m. kickoff sees Newcastle visit the Hawthorns.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams are in superior form of late, if you would argue. I mean, West Brom are level on points with United. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Thanks, Robbie Savage, for that. Yeah.
And Newcastle seem to be climbing at the table under a resurgent Alan Pardew side.
He'll be sleeping more comfortably this week and maybe over the last few days. Not a game that I would have sort of looked forward to a few weeks ago, but they're both teams are doing really well. West Brom have only lost one of the last 6, and they've won away. At Tottenham, Leicester, and drew at home to United. They've done really well. Newcastle, I mean,
they've also won at Tottenham.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who hasn't? There are a few teams. Sorry about that. But they're in very, very similar form. Both teams are, I think, 7th and 6th. West Brom are 7th. Liverpool are 6th in the form table. 3 victories, 2 draws, 1 defeat. And both teams have conceded 6 goals in their last 6. West Brom have scored 3 more, scoring 11 versus Newcastle's 8. I think this will be a really, really tight game. Home advantage to West Brom, but Newcastle, I think, they could potentially win this game, but I don't think they will. I think they may share the points here.
Yeah, I think Newcastle have reached a point where they're playing okay, but they're getting results. I don't think they're playing well. I mean, we saw that 45 minutes for the Liverpool game. It was the worst 45 minutes of Premier League football I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, but they're not giving the game away. And
no, that's why they've improved, I think.
You look at West Brom. You look at West Brom. Their home form. They've only won 1 of the last 5 homes. Newcastle have only won 1 of the last 5 aways. But they're both on the climb. And I think over the last 12 head-to-head 6 seasons, there's been goals scored by both teams, apart from the January match last year where West Brom won 1-0. But they are scoring goals. West Brom have scored 8 in their last 3 home matches. That's a lot of goals in the last 3. Newcastle have scored 2 away goals in each of their last 2 away matches. Sorry, Spurs and Swansea. And neither of those grounds are easy to go and get goals at. They got 2 in each of those in the last 2 aways. So I think it'll be very, very, very close.
I think Mourinho will be a vital player. I think I had a look last week before the weekend win at Leicester. I think Mourinho had scored 60% of their goals this season.
Bit too reliant,
yes, on a very young English forward.
How do you think it'll end this game?
I think it will be a draw.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll both cancel each other out. I can't see it being a great game based on Newcastle's past performance at Liverpool and West Brom. Leicester obviously wasn't a great game either, was it? 0-1.
No.
Low scoring goals.
Good 3 points though.
Very good 3 points, but tough one to call. Both teams are on form. My score prediction is going to be 1-1.
Okay, I'm going for a draw also, but I think there'll be more goals than that given their recent goal-scoring form in the last 2 or 3 matches. I'm going for a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, based on their both scoring form, I'm going to go for BTTS, which best price will be at BetVictor. What about yours?
A BTTS is a safe option. I'm tempted to go for a 2-2 correct score, but I would also look at over 2.5.
Finally, we have Sunday's 4 p.m. kickoff, which sees Arsenal go to the Liberty Stadium to take on Swansea. So Arsenal have won the last 2 at the Liberty Stadium.
They have.
Do you think that'll be a big factor in there?
No, I don't.
Apparent win?
I think it might give them a little confidence, but I think Arsenal is slowly improving. But they who have they played in the last 3? Burnley, Sunderland, and Hull. Drew with Hull at home. 1 away to Sunderland. That's not a bad result. And Burnley, bottom of the table. We thought they'd win 3 or 4-0. They won 3-0.
Left it late though, didn't they?
They did leave it late. Sort of. They've not been that convincing. I think Sanchez will probably get them out of trouble. He's had his 9th and 10th goal in that game against Burnley, where Arsenal had 32 shots, of which 12 were on target, which isn't bad, compared to Swansea, who surprised us at Goodison Park, where they managed to get a point.
Even with 10 men.
With 10 men, they had 1 shot on target of 8 shots, and they didn't gain a single corner.
No.
Which is
and Everton gained 11.
Yeah, quite unusual in a Premier League match.
Yeah, they were dominated by Everton, 67 to 33 possession.
So my initial instincts and looking at this match was sort of like, oh yeah, it's going to be an away win. But then sort of, I think if it is, it'll be a really marginal away win.
Yeah, I think so too. Both have kept clean sheets in the last two as well, which indicate a strong defence.
Yeah, it's not on my sort of top of my list of games I'm going to bet on in the Premier League. But I think Arsenal certainly should win it.
They're not going to lose, I don't think.
They could.
I think that is one of the three options.
Yeah, it is, and I think the game there'll be very few goals and possibly a ball draw.
Yeah.
But I think the most likely score will be Arsenal to win 1-0.
Yeah, and while my analysis is Arsenal have a great record against Swansea, but I think both teams are similar. And when Swansea play similar teams, they don't tend to do too well. As you saw against Everton, Martinez bringing his philosophy to Everton, who obviously was on Swansea. So I don't think they'll do too well against Arsenal, who play a similar game. So I'm going to go correct score of 0-2, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's quite brave.
Yeah, Walcott's back. I think that's going to be a
match fit.
Not match fit, but when you've got someone like that on the bench coming on for, a world-class, well, not world-class player, but a great player in Oxlade-Chamberlain.
It's another option. My only concern about Arsenal is that they've drawn half of their 10 Premier League matches this season.
It failed to kill them off.
So I don't know if they do go one up, will they be able to hold it?
So what do you think the score?
I'm going to stick to 1-0 to Arsenal. 0-1, sorry. Away win for Arsenal. But certainly, bets-wise, I would be certainly looking at under 2.5 goals.
I'm going to go bets-wise. I'm going to go correct score of 0-2. Best price 11-1 at Bet Victor or Bet365. But
that's a good price, actually.
It is a good price.
Well, I'm not sure Arsenal will score too.
I think if, like you said, if there's going to be little goals and it might be 0-0, then it might be worth going through that Bet365.
Yeah.
Because if
get your money back.
Get your money back.
Away win it is.
Away win. So next week in football, take a look at the games from around the Premier League to give you the best value for your bets. Laith, have you got any bets that give insane value?
Insane, I'm not sure about, but I obviously Southampton look so strong, sitting there in second place. Leicester weakening as each week goes by. I'd be tempted to go for some sort of a handicap bet on Southampton, putting
that's a good idea.
2 or 3 goals past Leicester at home. West Ham also look strong, and Villa, yes, they scored their first goal in 5 Premier League matches, but West Ham have done really well recently, and I would also fancy them. So perhaps either a handicap or win to 0 bets on Southampton and West Ham.
Okay, I've gone for a little accumulator, not necessarily for the best value, but I think for the low risk, high stake value. I've gone for Southampton to beat Leicester, West Ham to beat Villa. I've gone for United to beat Palace.
Should happen, shouldn't it?
Should happen, yeah. So that 3-4 will get you 4-1.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah, it might draw out as well the further down the week you get. But yeah, decent return for little risk. And then if you add Arsenal to that, which is the higher risk, you get 7-1.
I'd keep Arsenal out.
Yeah, I think I'd keep Arsenal out as well, based on our analysis just now.
How about Hull winning away at Burnley, given Burnley's dire straits without a win?
Yeah, it's possible. I think it'd definitely be BTTS, which I've got on a little mixed market threefold. So Burnley, Hull, BTTS. You got your Chelsea BTTS special result. And then you got your Man City over 2.5. And you'll get odds of 12-1 for that threefold.
Three selections. It's not bad, is it?
Yeah.
Not convinced by Liverpool scoring, so I might not place any money on that myself, but you obviously will.
Yeah. R for the week comes from Coral, which is quite a play on Movember. You grow your mustache for Goalvember. So it's a promotion broken down into 4 game weeks containing both Premier League and Euro 2016 fixtures, and offers customers the chance to get a free bet every time their Goalvember hero scores a goal during their particular game week.
Starting from
this weekend.
This weekend, okay.
Each game week, customers will have to pick their Goalvember hero from a list of Premiership footballers, and based on the number of goals their selection scores, customers will receive the corresponding amount in free bets. So if their hero scores twice, they get double the player's value in free bets. And if this player scores a hat-trick, they get treble the value. The value of each player can be found on the Coral site and landing page and will change each week based on fixtures. So you can find that on weekendfootball.co.uk/blog, where you'll see the Coral offer.
I might have a go at that myself.
Yeah, so who would be your Coral hero?
So you've got to choose a player who's obviously going to, because they're all going to be rated differently, who's going to show good value, not the obvious goal
scorers. Only for this weekend. So your selection's based on this weekend, then you change it again.
Oh, you can change it? Okay, fine. So I'll look at the Palace game. As I'm going to that game, I've got to think of a United player. And I'd probably go for someone like the Angel of the North, Angel Di Maria, because he can make goals, but he can also score them. And he's capable of getting more than one. So I think I would choose for this weekend, I would choose Angel Di Maria.
Yeah. Well, I think West Ham will score a few at Villa, and Sacco's been in great form. So I'm going to go Sacco, and you'll get a £8 free bet every time he scores.
That's all right. So you want a hat-trick.
Yeah. And plus, you might win your selection where you have to pay.
You might actually win your bet.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Well, thanks for listening. Don't forget our PL6 and PL10, which will be on Twitter and Facebook. So that's at Weekend Football and /Weekend Football. So you have to do a simple retweet and you might win some money. Next week, we do not have a podcast due to internationals. So try and enjoy England.